Hello everyone, this is Alex, and today I want to talk about how to use a VPN to get subscriptions for cheaper. I'll go over basically everything about this, all the pros, all the cons, why does it work, how does it work, give you a step-by-step guide and kind of explain it as well as possible while still keeping it short. And in the end of the video, I'll basically give you a bonus tip that I believe, not I believe, but that will objectively save you a ton of time, a ton of hassle, and a ton of money, right? So let's go over it. I have basically like 4 steps, and I'll go over them one by one, and I'll still try to get over them basically as fast as possible while still trying to explain it to you as well as possible. So number one is understanding why we can get cheaper prices using VPN. So until we actually go over to the step-by-step and until we actually start saving money, we need to understand how does it work, why does it even work for you to make sure that it's nothing illegal or something like that, right? So I have a little diagram here and I'll explain basically what regional pricing is. So this is basically just when a company adjusts to a certain country's income level. So basically, for example, if you have a company and if there's basically 2 clients, one is from Turkey and one is from USA, they're not going to get charged the same price because their income levels are not the same. So for example, the client that is coming from USA has like average salary of, I don't know, maybe like $4,000 in USA, while in Turkey, $4,000 is like a top tier salary. So obviously, the USA guy can pay like $19 per month without any problems because, his salary is like a lot higher than the guy from Turkey. So in order to kind of fix this problem, in order to stop losing customers to this problem, companies basically came up with something called regional pricing, where they actually adjust the Turkish guy's price and they basically make it come down lower. So for example, if the USA guy's salary is like 4 times more, then the subscription price for Turkey guy is going to be 4 times less. So for example, like $20 and like $5 because the income levels are like that much different, right? So that's like a very simple way and a very simplified way to say it. So just, company, Turkey client, USA client, they check for average income and it shows the prices based off of it. It's nothing illegal. It's something that like companies came up by themselves because they did not want to lose customers due to this price differential. So they just basically did this. So this is just basically the core reasoning as to why this method works that I'm going to teach you today. So second thing is what the companies check when checking your region. So in order for us to like get subscriptions for cheaper, obviously what we have to do is that even if we're in USA, we have to pretend like we're in Turkey. So let's go over like what do companies actually check while going ahead and saying, okay, this client is from USA or this client is from Turkey, right? So, for example, you enter their website, they check your geolocation using IP. So basically every single computer, every single network, every single like internet connection network has their own IP that also shows where you live. So first of all, they check this and then they assume that is where you live and show prices based off of that. So right now, if I switch a VPN to like Turkey, so I basically had a Turkish IP address and I went to, for example, Netflix website and I checked the pricing page, they would actually show me the prices from Turkey. But there is a plot twist, which is that once you actually go ahead and you're actually like, okay, I want to get the subscription at this price, let me purchase it, they actually check your payment card region. So if you do not have a Turkish card that you're using during buying the subscription at that cost, they will basically not allow for you to process with the payments and they will basically not give you that price, right? So just using a VPN would be too simple. So they also check the payment card region, but don't worry guys, I will also teach you how to overcome this. So the third one is what we need in order to access these regional prices. So like how to bypass all of this, right? So tricking the platforms on each step. So number one step is obviously checking for region, and for bypassing this, we can just use a VPN, as I said. I personally recommend using proxies with it. So if you don't know what proxies are, you can just research those. It's basically just a VPN, but instead of it being like VPN is kind of more of a secure thing, while proxies are kind of like more for fooling the geolocation, right? So proxies are for like using bots and all of that. So for example, like while VPN has no search history, which platforms do check for, the proxies do actually come with search history and it actually looks more like human. So you can actually fool the platforms way more with proxies than with VPN. So if not, like it can be NordVPN, ProtonVPN, Surfshark. Like I use basically any of this. I think any of this would work as well, but you do have to do your own testing. And the number two thing, which is checking for credit card, which is the harder part, is, there's basically like two ways to go around it. So one is just if you find a friend or a supplier from some forums. So there's these like two forums that I personally know that kind of sell this type of things, but make sure to do your due diligence and make sure you do not get scammed on them, because there is a lot of scams going on with these forums. So, be careful, right? If you can find a friend or like a reliable supplier that you do for sure and always like trusted, just go with them, Don't try to go with these forums. But if you do not have something like that, then, you can just basically try to find them on here. So let's go over, sorry. I actually showed the step before showing what it was. My mistake. So let's go over actual step by step of putting this into action for us to access these regional prices, right? So it's actually like very, very simple, As I said, only thing we need is a VPN and a payment card. And once we actually get those, only thing that's left is that for us to find the region that subscription is cheap in. So for example, for YouTube, it's like Turkey or India. Not for YouTube, actually for most of the platforms, it's those two countries, Turkey or India. You can just basically check those prices, and we activate a VPN to that region. So basically for Turkey, looking at like YouTube's price, and if we see, okay, Turkey has like it for like $2 per month, then we can activate the VPN to Turkey, and then we pay with that region's payment card. So we basically get a Turkish card, and we simply pay with it, right? We top it up and we simply pay with it. Nothing too crazy, nothing too serious. And this is basically full of how you can get subscriptions for a lot cheaper with VPN. But, if you see this, basically, it's a lot of hassle, right? So first of all, you have to buy a VPN. VPNs are not free. At least the reliable ones that will actually help you bypass the platform security are not. And then the credit card thing is a fucking pain in the ass, because, for you to find a reliable supplier on forum, it's pretty hard. You might get scammed doing that. And for you to find a friend in Turkey, it's kind of like hit or miss. You either have a friend in Turkey or you don't. You can't just go on like some video game and just search for like Turkish friends. I mean, you can do that, but it would take a shit ton of time. So now let me tell you about the bonus tip, which is subscriptions.cheap, right? So let me actually show you this. Subscriptions.cheap is basically a website where we take care of all of this for you, like all of this, right? So we already have this whole system set up. We already have the Turkish payment cards. We already have the Indian payment cards. We already have the VPNs, the proxies, all this purchased. So you do not waste money on that. And we also do it all for you. And we basically deliver every single subscription within 24 hours. As you can see, for example, YouTube Top Premium is like $4 per month. Discord Nitro is like $5, Spotify is like $3, Crunchyroll is like $3, as you can see, up to 80% cheaper than original prices, right? So this is basically what I would personally recommend. So yeah, sorry guys for a little pause, but basically this is what I personally recommend. Instead of you going ahead and just doing all of this by yourself, you can obviously do this, and good luck for you to do that, but it will take a few hours. And with that, and with this, you basically lose I don't know, maybe we take $1 or $2 profit. And in return, you basically save a shit ton of time, a shit ton of nerves, and all of this basically gets delivered to you within 24 hours. You can just, simply purchase it, and then you will join our Discord server and you will tell us either your account credentials, or we can create a brand new account with it, with this subscription on that account, right? So hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. And bye bye you guys, and see you in the next one.